action. All right, so if you remember right, all the steps are pretty easy though. First step, step number 1. Suddenly, Stevens realized that the picture that he was supposed to be following is now being recorded. Oh well, that's okay. I think I kind of remember. So over here, solid black hair, comes down. I'll thicken that up a little bit more. Some of that goes behind the head. Right here, loops down, goes behind the head. Then this comes over here. A little more trails. A little more pieces coming out. I'll get the general mass though. All right. We'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. And it looks like by his face, looks like he's been playing in a fireplace or something. Okay. Now, after you outline the basic mapping of the hair, we call this the hair helmet. Step number 1, hair helmet. Hair helmet. 2, outline the basic patterns of the hair, like where it's going. Nice. Okay, good. Got that done. Now, outline hair patterns. And watch this if you guys are nervous about your hair patterns. If you're doing great on your hair, don't need to watch it. However, if you're like struggling, especially if you haven't started because you're afraid for whatever reason, but watch this too. All right, so if you want dark hair, you need a smaller little nub. So here's like lighter colored hair, bigger, darker colored hair here, and it's a little stiffer. So this, pack it in a little bit tighter. The reason is you want like stiffer fiber so it doesn't get all smooth and folded. All right, so now I got that. Got that all done. Dip right here. And then, I should show you how to do a French curve. All right, so this demo takes a little bit longer. All right, I want everybody to watch up here. Take a look at this. All right, is everybody watching? Here's where magic happens, people. The shape I'm going to be drawing is like, here's a sheet of paper. In your notes, draw this out. There's a sheet of paper. You're going to come here really light. Leave a little bit of extra. It's going to be like a giant wave or something. Then it gets tighter and tighter. Then it's looser and bigger all the way out here. See that shape? I want you to draw that in your sketchbook. Because right here, I'm going to draw the full-size one. So right here, goes to the edge, nice and smooth. Comes up. Loops around. Comes up here, nice and tight. And loops around here again. And then fans out, bigger and bigger. All right, well, that was a bad example there. Okay, as long as you can kind of fix it a little bit later. Then I'll take some magic scissors and I'll cut this out nice and smooth as I can. And so you want it smooth cut out. It's kind of important for what I'm about ready to show you. This is one of the bigger magic shows because this is magic right here. Some of my shows that I do are maybe interesting, maybe I'll try that. Yeah, this is magic. All right, so then I get this tighter and tighter right in here. Tighter. And I'll go super tight here and slowly bend it out. All right, this is not the perfect French curve, but that's okay. All right, I don't know why it's French. Okay. I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, why in the hell is he doing that? I'm gonna show you. Okay, now I have two pieces. I have the in piece and the outie piece. Okay, you guys watching? Look at the monitor. This is where it gets good. It's gonna be amazing right here. Okay, with these pieces, you can find almost any shape mask off. So watch this. Right here at the cheek, a little cheek action. I'll start right here. See how small that is? It's too small. I'm gonna rotate that until it lines up with the cheek shape. Almost. Bam, right there. So now I got that cheek shape just by the French curve. All right, so then what it means is I can take this dark powder graphite, come in here, I'll start up here, drag off the French curve, come down, and I'll dip it in again. So each time you come down, it's a new load of powder graphite. All right, this will be stringy, not stringy, but like parts. Here are parts. And it's going to get even a little thicker over here. This is the area that goes down behind. And to get the area that goes behind the head, see how clean it is right there on the chin? Nice. And right here, it goes by the shoulder. I'll mask that off. So it's like, once again, too tight, still too tight. Ooh, nailed it. Right there. And you can find almost any shape with the French curve. I'll start here, push it right up into it. When I peel it away, bam! Did you see that? I hope you guys are watching that, because that was good. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple more pieces here. Powder graphite, swing it in, and I'll leave some of the empty spots in there. Okay, so that is it for the French curve. Thank you, French curve. All right, so Boyer, you can kind of see how much darker that is. That's about you need to go. And then even though it's dark here, I'm still going to erase some highlights. So you still have some highlights, maybe less. I'm going to start really light here, press a little bit harder, and then bang, comes up there a little bit. I'll do the same thing all the way down here. Highlight there, bend it around, shabam. And then the key with dark hair, though, is that when you're doing these highlights, I don't remember exactly how the shape went, but make sure you're following your references. Don't do what I'm doing right now. Do as I say, not as I do. That's such a parent thing to say. All right, curve down here like this, bam, over to the side. It's like a quick version of it, though. Okay, right here, see how fuzzy this is? Don't really care. I'm going to go over that with the darker values. That's step number 2. We're at the erase out. 3, add powder graphite. Just like everything else we'll do. Powder G. 4, tapeworm phase. You guys know what that is now, so I won't explain it. Tapeworms. 5, shade in some of the tapeworms. Shade in TWs. So to do that, I'll take the tissue, little paper towel, so a little tissue right here, and so it's not so white. I'm gonna start in the dark area and flick it up into the light area. Flick, flick, flick. All right, now I'm gonna come down here, flick, flick, flick. And that's good for that part. All right, that part is done. Now I'm gonna take my layout pencil, check Bull Mills layout 555. This is kind of the dangerous part of the project. Once again, if you mess up this part, that's really hard to fix. Okay, so with this, I'll come in here, and with really dark hair, a lot of it's gonna be this layout pencil. And once again, when we shade in, it's like this. Do not do a bunch of strings. Don't do this. No matter how much you do. If you make it black like this, eventually, you'll still see every single pencil stroke. It's gonna look like a mess. You want to start here, like a line, and then lightly comb the hair. So see how light I'm going? It's fuzzy. No lines. And let's say it's not dark enough. I'll make it darker by going over layer after layer. So it's gonna go like from a 4 to a 5 to a 6 to a 7. All right, so now I'll come in here and do the same thing. See this edge here, it's all soft and fuzzy? I'm gonna fix that later, but right now, I'm gonna get some lines in there. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see it better. almost. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now with that, come in here. I'm going to do the combing the hair thing here. With a big patch, it's going to come down and curve. It's a little bit shiny for some reason. It doesn't look shiny here, but on the camera it does. I'll post this to the magic shows or presentations here later. Alright, so now I'm try to block off that light. Maybe it's coming from this. Hold on one second. Oh, there we go. I had too much light. Okay, so this, come in here, and even in here in the highlight area, start dark, then flick it through some of those highlights. It says my internet section is unstable. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. Alright, so then once again, I'm doing this section here. I'm leaving the powder graphite sort of like a highlight. So like right here in this area, you have gray, then you have one streak of dark. I'll come in here with like a little skinny line. And right now I have line, line, line. So I gotta fade that out. I like doing that blend. Fade it from a dark line, gradually fade it though. Then over here, same thing, same process. And blend it out. Okay, the area by the chin right here is going to be pretty darn dark. I'll come in here with this. And right here, it's like too big of a chunk, so I'm going to take a pencil, drag it right through it like this. Bam. Made it a little bit smaller. And then I'll come down here. See, here's what's all fuzzy, so we're going to fix that next. This little fuzzy area down here, we'll fix that. So with that, I'll do some curls like so. When you do curls on this, to make it curly, if you use your hands like this and you curl it, it's not going to be accurate. It's going to be all like weird and angly. If, on the other hand, you take your pencil, don't move your fingers. You move your entire arm. So watch this. Down, bam. And it's going to be a little smoother. I'll do another one here. Bam. So the speed is really important. But right now it's one line. So it's one line width. Now I'll come in right next to it. I'll start off a little bit wider and get it skinnier and skinnier. Wider and maybe branch off a little bit. Now I'll come over here on this side. Same thing. And so you can see how much powder graphite I use. I still use it, but I go for most of it with the layout pencil. So if you have dark hair, you can have more of this. And down here where it's fuzzy, I'll clean up the line by giving some of the, not really frizzy, but what do you call them? The runaway hairs. Here's your runaway hair. Ready for this one? It's gonna get crazy right here. Here's your runaway hair. Breathe in. And have it go off the side. Now I'll fatten it up a little bit. I got another one come down. And I'll blend this out. Right here it bends a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that bend, but I'll be able to fix it here in a second. Same thing here. Now I'm just doing the layout pencil. And the General Mills layout pencil, the 555, is a really soft compound. Great for getting dark values, terrible for erasing. Alright, and the more you put on there, right now I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe like 7 strands. More strands, the better it's going to look more natural. Once you do a single strand like this, you gotta go back in and make it thicker by following along. Maybe get thinner near the edge, thicker up here. Thick to thin. Oh, get in there. Alright, so now I'll add some more over here on this side. Skinny lines. These little edges here will really help. I'll do a little hoop. So instead of like a curve, instead of a normal curve, I'm going to come out there a little more dramatic. I'll come out there with a little hoop and come back in. Whoop. And come back in. Then I'll swing Bring it in here. Same process. Get rid of those little guys. And once you get the handle of like that little hoopty kind of thing, it'll be easier for you. I'm getting more and more of those. Focus. And here, like this is really solid here, so I'm gonna go back in, thicken this up a little bit. Make it so it's solid dark. And just gotta pull it down till you get to the point where you like it. And sneak up on it slow. You might want to go back up near the top. Get a couple more in there. And we're blending it. We're doing it like this. Avoiding all of those weird lines. You can start with a line, but then you need to go back in and fatten them up a little bit. Going over the line. Another little fancy line there. Another one over here. Now it's starting to look more like hair because I'm doing more of the lines. These are the singular lines. So it's really a process. It's not like you automatically make the hair look light or darker. This person looks like a very strange hairdo right now. There's like 3 different hairdos in one person. Okay, now to smooth it out, I'll take tissue, brush it down a little bit. And here's another secret for you guys with dark hair. So if you don't like the lines, take a blending stump like this and go back in, and it'll soften some of the lines. So it's not quite as abrasive. But don't do that over the whole thing. Make sure you have some highlights that still show. All right. Andy, do you have any questions?
Yes. So when the first thing when you did was you dipped the towel into powdered graphite, and then you had a lot of pigment on it.
Yes.
And then when I try to do it, I lose pigment really fast, and it becomes super light.
Like super duper light?
Yeah. Like how I showed you.
I'll show you again over here. So I'll do another little section. Let me press pause for a second.